2016. It's a very important day for all the indigenous people of Biafra across the globe, not only here in London. Today, the Biafran people are remembering their fallen heroes and heroines who fought tirelessly for their nation, Biafra. Thousands of Biafrans are here on the streets of London wearing Biafran white t-shirts. This is the biggest IPOB march in the UK in a half of a century, but there are other ongoing marches just like this one in other parts of the world, including Biafra land. I'm sure everyone must have heard of Biafra and the civil war between Nigeria and Biafra, called Biafran War between 1967 and 1970, in which more than 3 million Biafrans died and 1,000 Biafrans were slaughtered since 2015 till date. Today, after 50 years, nothing has changed. The Biafrans are always being targeted by the Nigerian government and being killed every day. They made them slaves for conquest for years, but today Biafrans want to be free. They want their freedom. The wealth and resources Nigerian gains from Biafra land is shared among Nigerians, and excluding Biafrans who die in Biafra land in the Mediterranean Sea trying to cross Europe for survival.
Give her a mic. Yeah, mic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, mic. Thank you. Listen.
On my way here, I thought I'd like to say All hail Biafra!
All hail Biafra!
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good.
Go ahead.
IPOB!
Freedom!
I said I didn't want to say IPOB because I want everyone to be welcome. It's not just about IPOB. It is now about everybody, all Biafrans. So all hail Biafra! It's about the people. Nnamdi Kanu represents Biafra, and Biafra is you and I. Yes. So it's not about you. Anybody talking about Nnamdi Kanu is wasting his time. He can't deal with jealousy. I can't use that word because really there's no need for it. It's just about us waking up, coming together. Are you and my married together?
Are you married together? Yes.
And your mama together. People call me on the phone. Someone I've never seen before. I don't know about him. I just know a minute all the way in Hong Kong. He calls me and he says, I'll be doing this for you every month.
Amen.
He's not a member of IPOB. I don't know how to but he's interested. So people are listening to him. That's encourages me. And the fact that you all come out.
Happy to sing it to the way to the war till tomorrow like that. And if I die, fighting for my brother, it's better. I've already told my people, take me home and bury me. I will not bury me with Nigerian flag. They bury me with Biafran flag because I know the God that you will carry out is by our side.
Thank you so much. That was a very deep message.
Yes, most of them are Boko Haram. Most of them, most. I tell you, over 10 we are caught. They came as Fulani men. But surprisingly, they confessed that they are Boko Haram. They were caught and they were put in prison by Buhari, and at the time they were liberated to come to the outside to kill. Tell me if they are not Boko Haram. In Biafra land, let's say in Nigeria when we were together, if they see you with machetes, knife with you, they will arrest you as a Biafran man. But Hausa, in the olden days, Hausa, they carry that, you know that. Now they carry AK-47. Who gave them the license to carry AK-47?
After seeing the mass killings, extrajudicial detention, mass graves against the people, the indigenous people of Biafra, and seeing that after 50 years, nothing has changed at all, do you think that we are moving towards a revolution or a war?
It's clear, history has made it known to us that whoever suppresses a kind of peaceful agitation for freedom will be ready for a violent one. Basically, Nigeria is corruption, and corruption is Nigeria. Seeing everything that is happening in Nigeria, the currency is crumbling, the economy is crumbling, the foreign investors are leaving the shores of Nigeria. Nigeria will be history very, very soon. But before then, we're not going to fold our hands and watch the murderous Buhari regime to continue killing our people. The court has stated that Nnamdi Kanu should be released. All the illegal detention about Biafrans should be investigated. All the killing and mass grave found in Biafra land should be investigated. None of these things has been complied with. But what we are assuring in Nigerian state is that as they are suppressing people who are unarmed, going about protesting for their freedom, they should be ready for a violent one. As they have witnessed, the Niger Delta Avengers are kind of bombing everywhere, trying to fight for their freedom. Because going by the peaceful way, Nigeria do not listen, they don't understand it.
Okay, thank you. Talking about the Niger Delta Avengers, some people call them militant. How do you define them? The Niger Delta Avengers, how do you define them?
Well, calling them militant is just messing up or just saying something that is not right. It's not right what is called militant. These guys are freedom fighters. Yeah, they are fighting for their own freedom. So we can't call them militant.
Sorry, the freedom, is it they are Biafrans, right?
The freedom of Biafra
okay.
Are fighting.
All right.
So, because all of us are Biafra. The issue there is that when Nigeria was created by the British, they find a way of putting division among our people by creating Niger Delta, blah blah blah, all this. It wasn't like that. We are the same thing. So, what they are doing is they are fighting for Biafra, and they mentioned it as one of the demand they give, the condition they give, or demand they give to the Nigerian government, that they should release mass Nnamdi Kanu. So what does that tell you? It's fighting for Biafra. So Niger Deltans, using that word, they are fighting for Biafra. So they are freedom fighters, they are not militant. And the whole world and everybody should stop using that term, militant, those guys, because they are protecting their people. Someone who is fighting for the freedom of the people cannot be called militant. What you have to call militant should be the Boko Haram. They are the people that should be called militant. Because they are going about the people, killing people. These guys never take life. What they are fighting is that their resources. Yeah? They never kill anyone. They never kill anyone. So you can call them militant. They are
regarding the issue of Niger Delta being Biafra. Niger Delta are more Biafrans than even the core Igbos. because the name Biafra, when it was resurrected in the 60s, it was suggested by Chief Big, an African man who is an Ijaw man. He was the one that called on Megoju. Can we call this a new state, Biafra? So, by the way, the idea of calling people that are fighting for their right, the devastation of the environment, the oil pollution, the non-availability of amenities, but they owe the golden hand that the gifts that place the golden hand, but they are being neglected. All the money that has been made from that area has been used to develop other parts of Nigeria, and they are being siphoned overseas into Britain, where it's been kept. And you're calling them militant because they are now trying to get what belongs to them. You know, it is very, very unfair. That's what I want to add.
Thank you.
Yes, that is something here because the name of that group that are fighting is called African. So what's the meaning of African? Trying to protect the innocent, people that cannot do it, avenging for them. So that's what I stand for. This Boko Haram should become militant because what they are doing when they say Western education is not allowed. So they are going against some people. But these people are protecting. They are people that Nigerian government protect. They are killing Biafrans since time immemorial today. So they come avenge. So you can't call them militant, and they can never. So anybody that's calling them militants are going to fail. And every media should stop, bringing IPOB peaceful people who never take any land, never fight anybody, who are just protesting. So they should separate this Niger Delta Avengers and IPOB from putting Boko Haram together. Well, that is wrong. So the media must, the African media must fight to make sure that these three names does not come in the same place. So Niger Delta Avengers, they are freedom fighters fighting for freedom.
Furthermore, even the proscribed House of Fulani Boko Haram, Buhari is calling them his own brothers. These are killers. He's calling them his own brothers. Yet our own brothers who are freedom fighters are being called militants. Shame on Buhari because he is the one who instigated these people. He is their supporter. He is the one that brought about Boko Haram just for his own sake. Now Boko Haram is going around killing people. Has he ever jailed any single Boko Haram? No. He said you free them from prison. But Director Kano, Omar Buguru Hamadike, doctor, is being kept in prison for doing nothing. While Boko Haram are being released, the killers of Biafrans are being released simply because they are Buhari's brothers. What a shame. We will not overlook our own. We will keep fighting until Biafra is restored. Buhari says instead of Biafra to come, he will die. We are hoping that he will die soon because Biafra will come very soon.
Just to make clear, these the tactics that the Nigerian government has been trying for long to divide all the indigenous people of Biafra with divided. Can you tell me all the states that makes Biafra?
Yes, Britain, by their nature, wherever they go around the world, they implement the idea of divide and rule. That is why immediately after the war, they kind of carved out the Minority Commission. They kind of helped Nigeria to introduce Minority Commission, telling our people, the IPOBs, the ethics, the Jaws, that they are minority. Minority amongst who? They are not minorities. So going back to your question about the issue of divide and rule, they cannot divide us. We have found out that we are all the same people. We have the same DNA. Being a people and speaking a different language does not mean that we're not the same people. After all, if you go to North, there are so many ethnic minorities that speak different languages. They never call them minority. It's only in our own case because the oil and the resources could be found in Biafra land, and that's why they introduced this measure to divide us. But thank Chukwu Biafra that we have discovered who we are, and nobody will ever divide us until Biafra comes.
Thank you so much. Just
So furthermore, we have in this country, in the United Kingdom, we have, in Britain, we have Wales, we have the English, and also we have the, no, that is under United Kingdom. I'm talking about England, under Britain, we have English and Wales. Why are the Welsh not a minority? Why are the English not minority? And then when you come under United Kingdom, you have Scotland, you have Northern Ireland, and then you have English and you have Wales. Why any of them not minority? Are they the same in size or are they the same in number? British people are very crafty people. Wherever they go, all they do is to go and steal anything that doesn't belong to them. That's the way they are. But we have grown up now, we know what the situation is. And we must bring Biafra back to its originality. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, just to round out, what is does IPOB have any demand? I mean, is there anything they are asking, they want from the world?
Yes.
Because you're fighting for your freedom, obviously.
Yes.
Is there any specific demand from IPOB?
What IPOB is fighting for is the total sovereignty
Restoration.
of Biafra.
Yes.
Complete, not independent.
Furthermore, yes, there will not be any referendum. We are not asking for any referendum. We want total restoration of Biafra. No referendum. Anybody talking about referendum is not from IPOB. It's a different group. We as IPOB, we are asking for total restoration of our sovereignty, Biafra. No referendum.
If I may add to that, a referendum can only come or arise in a situation where a group of people come together and say, we want to be this. So if those people decide in a later date that they don't want to be together again, they can have a referendum, just like it happened in Scotland. Scottish people and English people came at a point and said they want to be together. And at a point, they said they don't want to be together again. Referendum was right to be introduced. It's happening now in EU. They have EU treaty. Britain don't want to belong to EU. So that's why they're organizing a referendum. But in our own case, we never came together as a people to say we want to be Nigeria. Exactly. Nigeria was imposed on us. So for anybody to have conceived the idea of introducing a referendum, I think is a gross mistake, an injustice. And we are not going to abide by that.
Yes. Furthermore, about this referendum, we existed before the zoo. Biafra, as Oyebuchi, the coordinator of the United Kingdom, says earlier, Biafra existed more than 5,000 years, older than the zoo. So how can you ask your son to baptize you if you're asking for a referendum? Who should ask for a referendum? We did not exist together with the zoo. We existed on our own before Britain came to. Britain destroyed the United Kingdom in 1911. From 1911, when the United Kingdom was exited, then think of how far back Biafra existed before the kingdom was destroyed. Then how would we ask for a referendum? And of course, you know that Britain, when it comes to referendum, there are tricks. There are tricks. They always apply. We don't want referendum. Thank you.
All right. One last question.
Yes.
You want to say something?
Yes. Referendum can only apply when, in the first place, there was a treaty between maybe 3 parties or 4 parties. They've agreed. So referendum can come when they decide, oh, this is that we don't want to be. That's when we can introduce referendum. Like the people just said now, you can't just go and put a referendum where there was no treaty. Biafra has been there before Nigeria, and there is no agreement between Nigeria and the Biafra that we are going to play together. It wasn't like that. So how do you mention referendum? The referendum, they will just, But I thank God today that we have radio who are educating our people. They will understand what it means before now. Even if there will be a referendum, it should be in Biafra. It's in Biafra that referendum can take place. Not between us and Nigeria. What we need is to get out of Nigeria. That is what we are fighting. So referendum is out of the equation. Yes.
Right, thank you. One last question. I heard you referring to Nigeria as a zoo. Can you please tell us why you call Nigeria zoo?
A zoo is a place where animals are collected and looked after properly. I mean, calling Nigeria a zoo is an understatement.
It's a promotion.
Nigeria should be, it's a big promotion actually. Nigeria should be called a jungle because there is jungle justice. That's why Nnamdi Kanu is being kept even after their so-called court. set him free. Nigeria, with all their professors, with over 100 universities, cannot refine common crude oil that they can tap from the ground that's given to them naturally. Nigeria, as they are at the moment, cannot build roads. They cannot pump water into their various houses. Remember that the Romans mastered this art of pumping water into various homes more than 3,000 years ago. They mastered the art of building roads more than 3,000 years ago. But Nigeria as a people cannot do any of these things. Nigeria is a place where people die, you know, unnecessarily because of lack of hospital, because of lack of security, because of lack of care for people, you know. And a place that exists in such a state should be called a jungle, not a zoo. So we are right calling Nigeria a zoo.
Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Since President Muhammadu Buhari was elected, human rights abuses have become a characteristic of Nigerian politics.